Hello, everyone. First of all, congratulations on making it this far. As you know, you're just one step away from your dream B school. Most interviews starts with "Tell me about yourself." This can drive an interview, so make sure it's well written, prepared, and even rehearsed. And there are few basic expected questions like why MBA, why this specific college, etc. So make sure you're even prepared for these questions as well. Know what's happening around the world and as well as in India. Budget can be important, and also be prepared for the follow up questions. For example, if you're talking about inflation, the follow up question can be like, what is the current inflation rate of India? So be prepared for the follow up questions. Hobbies can be important. So make sure you know basic things about your hobbies. For example, if your hobby is reading book, the follow-up question can be like, what is the previous book you read, or something about the author, or about your preferences of the books and all. Know your strengths and weaknesses. It's okay if you don't know answers for all the questions. Finally, the most important thing is sound confident, calm, and composed. Sometimes humor can help, but excessive humor can be counterproductive. Stay excited because you're at the end from transforming yourself into an MBA student from an MBA aspirant. Thank you so much. We are excited to see you here.
Hello everyone, I'm Kapil Verma and I hope you and your family are doing well. To start off, the first thing you have to prepare very well is your introduction. As you know, first impression is the last impression. You have to be very confident while giving your introduction. So practice and rehearse if needed. Moving on, if you have some prior work experience, then major part of your interview might revolve around your work experience. So write down your roles and responsibilities properly and practice explaining them. For freshers, prepare well some subjects from your undergraduation. Be prepared of some follow-up questions based on your answers, like for example, why MBA after having XYZ work experience. Apart from this, there can be some basic questions from your resume, so practice each and everything that is present on your resume, like questions related to your hobbies or any responsibilities you had in your undergrad. Finally, be aware of the latest news like Budget 2022, elections, cryptocurrency, etc., or trending tech like metaverse, IoT, etc. Last but not the least, have confidence. If you have made it till here, you can make it further and achieve your goal. Cheers.
Hi everyone, now that the first step in the journey to B school is over, let's talk about the next step, that is interview. I compartmentalized my interview prep into three buckets: personal, current, and domain. And I maintained a diary as well as digital notes to keep a log of all the probable questions in each bucket and my answers to those. I browsed through many mock interviews, interview experience videos, and Quora to make an exhaustive list of all the type of questions that fall in these categories. So let's look at each of these one by one. In personal bucket, there can be questions about one's background, academic and career choices, hobbies, strengths and weaknesses, etc. It's very important to be thorough and coherent in this particular section, as one's reasoning abilities are gauged primarily through personal questions, and it doesn't bode well for a candidate to not be able to justify their choices. After that begins the process of answering them. While we can certainly take help from internet to get a reference or to articulate our answers, but personal questions such as why MBA, why a particular undergraduate degree, why a particular hobby, or why MBA directly after graduating and not post gaining some work experience, etc., shall be reflected upon in context with one's own journey. These decisions sometimes are taken by many of us without any active thinking on our part, or we tend to take these decisions in the flow of things, and hence, certainly, it's not possible to answer such questions in one sitting. So it was at this point of time I gave myself a window of 1 month before interviews began to actively think upon these questions, and not only when I'm studying, but also while I'm doing something else, for example, taking a walk. Whatever realizations came to my mind in this 1 month of continuous active introspection, I used to immediately jot them down in my diary or digital notes. Every week, I used to filter all these notes to form coherent points that I can speak in front of the panel. Next comes the current bucket, wherein one's interest and general knowledge level about the things happening around them is tested. For this section, my approach was to pick the most important insights and my own one-line analysis for any important current event. Since more than the facts associated with these events, the panel is interested in knowing our understanding of the implications of these events for, let's say, society or business. Moving on to the third and the last bucket, that is domain. I further divided it into three sub-buckets, one for my undergrad stream, one for work experience, and the other one for the business stream that I'm interested in, such as marketing, finance, etc. Depending on the panel, questions can be posed on either of these three fronts or all of them. Work experience partially falls in personal as well as domain-based questions. Questions such as what were the challenges you faced in your job can be answered in a manner that showcase personal traits as well as domain knowledge to make a strong case in front of the interviewer. And for the other two buckets, I familiarized myself with the basic concepts that are hard to ignore in each of these segments, and I found that was sufficient to do well in the interviews. That's all from my side. Best of luck.